Guys, welcome back to the post-game show after Chelsea won today's game 1-0 against Crystal Palace at the Bridge, powered by powered by the unveiling of our new boy, the flying Ukraine, the 22-year-old left winger Mikhailo Mudryk was signed and unveiled today at the Bridge wearing that beautiful blue shirt. He was already looking sweet. I mean, I'm already visualizing the young man terrorizing defenders down that left flank. It's going to be lovely, especially once Felix comes back and we start getting some more of our guys, Kante and James and all these guys back. It's going to be something lovely. But hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves, and let's just talk about today's massive win, massive 3 points. I know it's only Crystal Palace, but guys, it's like we haven't won like a game in like a little while. I believe in the last 10 games. This must be like our second win in the last 10 games. Is that bad, yo? For real, it is that bad. And so, I mean, y'all have to indulge me. You got to indulge your boy. I was jumping. I was, celebrating this win. It felt like we don't want a third Champions League trophy, but what it was we just picked up 3 points at the Bridge against Crystal Palace on Sunday, and so we're grateful. I'm grateful, to God for these 3 points. But let's, move on, to the game. Where Potter shuffled off his lineup, and he gave three players like a opportunity to sort of show what they can do. He in defense he started our new signing Benoit Badiashile. Then he also started Carney Chukwuemeka in a midfield. And then at left back, he started Lewis Hall. For me, Badiashile looked quite promising. I was happy. I mean, I know it's just Crystal Palace, and it's going to be a lot much tougher days ahead in the life of a Chelsea the defender, especially once we start playing Champions League games and whatnot. But for his debut game, I was impressed. He was calm on the ball. He used his size, that big frame, that big height, 6 feet 4 inches. Very calm. His passing was crisp. He was zipping the ball across the Stamford Bridge green grass at pace. I mean, he was finding players. He was covering. He was, throwing that big frame all over the place on the floor. I mean, whatchamacallit, Zaha, Wilfred Zaha did not find any joy against Badiashile. I mean, he had him locked down all day. So that was a nice one. That was a nice debut. I mean, the young man did not look out of place. He looked happy. He looked, comfortable. He just fit right into that blue shirt, and he's already looking like he's been playing for Chelsea for like years. So yeah, I mean, I'm grateful that Potter and Bowley went on ahead and picked up this young man, Benoit Badiashile from Monaco. He did cost a pretty penny, but it is what it is if you want, quality. Lewis Hall, you all already know Lewis Hall is our 18-year-old academy product. He played at left back. He's really left mid fielder. Really, in fairness to the young man, he's more or less mid fielder. But it appears that Potter is going to be playing him at left back, and he just has that profile. I mean, I know some fans feel like he's not that solid offensively. But obviously the fact that he's young, he's still growing into his frame. It's going to be a better days ahead. But not with standing. For me, he had a good game today, and the fact that he has that midfielders mindset and mentality. He does have the profile of the kind of player that fits into Graham Potter's idea of football. Just if you kind of envision Zinchenko when he played left back for City and now at Arsenal, that's the kind of player that Lewis Hall can be. Because Zinchenko himself is really a midfielder. He's almost he's like an attacking midfielder playing full back. He's not a natural fullback per se. That's the kind of player that Lewis Hall can be, but it's still early days. Then he had Carney, Chukwuemeka. I mean, I felt like he didn't take his. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on the young man. I mean, he didn't necessarily have like a bad game, but he didn't. When you're a young man and you get thrown a shirt. The whole idea is you're gonna take that shirt with two hands and try and make it your own shirt, and I just didn't see enough today. So, but not with standing. We also had some other players that played well. Gallagher was throwing his weight around in midfield. You all already know Gallagher is hungry, so he just did his best. He don't want to be dragged off that pitch. So I mean, I felt like he had played well. Obviously, old man Silva for me, old man Silva was one of the best players on the pitch. We already know what Silva can do and what he has been doing week in week out. The only other player that I would vote for man of the match, if not Silva, would be our goalie, Kepa, who just made, at least a couple, two or three incredible saves. He did have that one, brain fart, moment in the first half where he went out for a cross and missed it. But I mean, apart from that, I mean, Kepa was solid, a well earned and well deserved clean sheet for Kepa. Then last but not least, Havertz, obviously Kai Havertz, scored the goal, but he was fed by Hakim Ziyech. Ziyech was pretty much more or less our main threat on the wing. On the other wing, we mostly had Mason Mount, who is not really a winger, obviously. So he was kind of a blunted force. I mean, I felt like Potter played him a little bit out of position. He really should be playing inside as a midfielder, not as a midfielder on in the wide areas. He's more or less an interior midfielder. And so Mount, didn't have a bad day, but it was far from his best day. Let's put it was a fairly quiet day for Mason Mount. But guys, that said, it was the 3 points. Potter went on ahead and emptied the bench, brought in defenders and midfielders towards the end to try and hold on to the win. 7-8 minutes of in jury time, and our guys were able to defend with their backs to the goal. Vintage, Chelsea, especially with all the legends, watching from the rafters, including JT and them, Hasselbank and all those legends that we've seen who showed up in honor in honor of our legend who passed away, Gianluca Viali, who passed away at the age of 58 to colon cancer. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace through God's grace. And we thank God for these 3 points. Guys, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Take care. God bless you all. Peace.